back, man. A lot of interesting stuff been going on, as y'all can see. The internet been flooded with stuff. Flooded. I just wanted to do a quick reaction. If y'all new to the channel, make sure y'all subscribe for me. Show me some love. Hit that like button for me. Show me some extra love. I need that like button. I need that like button, y'all. Need the like button. So I'm gonna get into it, man. Unique Mecca Audio went down to the Puff trial. I mean, not trial, excuse me. To the Puff sentencing. And he had a few interesting things to say. A few of those things I was thinking to myself, man. And when I heard him say it, I was like, well, damn, I was kind of a little right about certain things. It just was giving me mixed signals, comments, and things. Opinions of the trial, people saying Puff is a monster, people that was, Puff real hard, kind of feel sorry for him now, or, saying certain things was good, certain good things for him now. A lot of people got it mixed up that the trial was ran based off of a domestic violence, but he was charged with a Mann Act, which that's something way bigger and deeper than domestic violence. But that was the main charge, and showing domestic violence was not a winner of the Mann Act, which he was acquitted of. And a lot of people still didn't understand it. They still speaking in terms of, well, he still did this, he still did that, he still got what he deserved. That's not justice. Justice is when the law lock you up for what they lock you up for, then that's what they should base their case off of. Their testimonies at the end of the trial, all of the above. Other than that, they should have fought for they should have charged him for a domestic violence. And people, can change after, some time. It takes the law to break them down and send them to jail to make them understand. If they really don't get a real hard piece of time, or for what they've done sometime, they won't change. A lot of people, a lot of men beat on women and then go in and come right back out and still do the same thing again until they are really in too deep because they charged with it too many times and things of that nature. But I think this one really shook Puff because he was looking at losing his life and losing everything that he built if he would have got caught on the Mann Act. They would have been able to take all his assets, companies, everything. It would have stripped him all the way down to zero with no money, no nothing. So, but we're going to react to some of this stuff. Unique Mecca Audio is talking. Let's go.
You know what it is, Unique Mecca Audio, man. Check it out. I went there and I sat in the overflow room down there at the Diddy trial. And I'm not going to lie, I was disappointed. I was disappointed in a lot of things. His lawyers did an excellent job of putting on their defense. But the first thing the judge said when he came in there was that he found Diddy's letter disturbing. Now, how do you begin a sentence saying that the letter that you wrote that was supposed to get my sympathy, I found it disturbing? That's the first thing he said. So right there, I said, oh, he ain't going home. That's a wrap. All right?
And that's crazy. A judge says that a letter is disturbing. And see, that's why Unique said it's a rap for him at the beginning of it. For it to sound disturbing, then you already know ain't no good news coming up out of that. And he don't even respect that the man sat down and wrote a letter. Maybe he thought that the man was just writing and saying anything so he can go home that same very day. And that's that's very deep. That's very, very deep. I know Diddy's heart just dropped once he heard that. And now it's like, damn, should I wrote this letter or not? Like, what? But we're going to get into some of that in a few minutes. I'm going to let y'all finish hearing some of the stuff Unique talking about.
But now, as I sat there during the trial, but let me break down the sentence. He got 50 months, 50 months, because he, in the feds, they do everything by months so that by the time you calculate, you out there daggone courtroom. All right? Because, listen, I know a dude that got, 400.
And see, he's gonna break down this 50-month sentence. And see, 50 months sound like a lot. And Puff been in there a certain amount of time already. Unique gonna break it down how you can break down 50 months while being in prison and shorten your time all the way up as well. So people was looking at him getting out in 2028, which is what, 3 years from now. So, but we're gonna go there. I'm gonna let y'all hear what Unique saying.
In 80 months, right? And he's in the courtroom and he's like, 180, 12 times. Wow. And he's like, asking Lord, how much time is that? And Lord said, no, come on, we'll talk about it in the back. They just wanted to get him out the courtroom. That joint turned out to be 40 years, man. But now he got
40 years, 480 months. And he said by the time you get out of the courtroom and figured out what 480 months is, they already got you out of the courtroom. So they ain't got to worry about none of that. That's why they breaking everything, or giving you time instead of saying we sentence you to 40 years or 50 years or whatever. They tell you by the months. So, but let's go here. Let's finish.
50 months, right? Out that 50 months, he gets time served. So,
Right.
50 months is 4 years.
Time served. So he been in there, what, 13, 14 months? So he's gonna get accredited with those months he been in there. Let's finish.
Is and 2 months. So take that off of the year that he already did, and then now he's looking at 3 years. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Then he gets time off for good behavior. That's going to be another 6, 9 months, right? So
Right.
now we're talking about 2 years and change.
Facts.
And then he gets what they call the drug program, right?
Right. So when you do the drug program, so they already knocked off a year. Then he got good time, knock off 9 months. Now he's gonna do a drug program. One of my homegirls just went in for doing something with some PPP loans, and I broke that down to her. When she get in there, apply for those type of things, and she only got 6 months. So if she get those drug programs and things of that nature, it should drop off a lot of time for her as well. But let's finish with Unique saying.
And that's another year off. So that brings it down to a year. And then he could get the halfway house. They give you up to a year in a halfway house now. They used to give you 30 days. Now they give you a year. So you take those calculations off, and then he'll be home by this time next year. By Christmas next year, then he'll be home.
Right.
But it looked like the judge just wanted to send a message, and the judge clearly said he wanted to send a message. When I sat there and I listened to how this whole thing played out, right? The first thing when that judge said that he found the letter disturbing, right? And then he said that he wasn't going to use, acquitted conduct because his sentence was already, written up.
And so Unique saying that the judge was saying he's doing this to send a message. In my mind, what kind of message is he sending just because it's Puffy? I guess a man of power that will do things to women and do domestic violence things, beating them up and things of that nature. When there's a lot of other men that's out here beating up women, even worse than what we saw, even if Diddy did worse than we saw in that camera. But a lot of these men get caught and they get spanked on the hands and they be back out. But I'm trying to figure what's the message that they sending, because at the end of the day, what they locked him up for wasn't even an official charge, what they should have did. For real, for real. Feel Speak said the second count of appeals will show the case, but the judge carried out a travesty of justice. He also said the judge was working for hold on. Right, but yeah, and the judge is really hiding some things that the prosecution failed to do, and hiding some things what the prosecution was doing illegally, and that's a fact. Terrell V said, and now he's coming home early. That's a fact. He's gonna be, and what we won't say is early, but he's coming home. Most people first time will get a year, 2 years suspended with 6 months probation and things like that, and be back home. And then once all that die down, and they back, they got the feeling of being back outside. They back to their normal routine, beating on the wall. But they consider doing an example because officer, no, they doing that just because they know that they messed up by putting him in jail for that charge that didn't even make sense, which consider you need other people to partake in what you are doing to have that type of charge. How one person get a charge like that? But then it gets lowered, it gets dropped, dismissed, or he beat it, acquitted, and then the less of a charge, they an example out of him. So either way, he lost before he even could win anyway. But we're finished listening to what Unique said, man.
So in other words, it don't matter what Diddy would have said from
Facts.
that statement. The judge already said he already had the statement written up. The judge took time to write it up, man. It might have took him a week, a month, but whatever. He already took time and analyzed it, what he was going to give Diddy. He knew what he was going to give him. So he shouldn't have went up there and said nothing. I'm going to go back to that in a minute. But when I sat there and I looked in the joint, I could not even recognize Diddy. But I'm sitting there and
And I always told people, man, it don't matter how you think you gonna put on the prettiest suits, the fly suits, and go up in there and think that the judge that's gonna show sympathy, man. The judges don't care about none of that. As long as you look decent, but all that getting your suits and going up in there, and they knowing what you are in there for, or even if you in there by them railroading you, you doing all that. It's crazy. Should never do it. Like, who cares about them suits, man? Go in there with fighting your best case. They said Diddy hold grudges and Cassie knows it. That's why Cass was trying to make homie stay longer. Yeah, she know all of that, but at this point, Diddy can't be that stupid and want to even backtrack to even bother her. That would be silly. And I really do think it broke him down because this is Diddy's first time ever really going to jail after all the stuff he might have done out there and was thinking he was untouchable in the streets. But he was doing a lot of stuff. And, most people of his age bracket, when we was growing up, we done been in and out of jail, making our mistakes. We already knew what not to do. But this one, he first time going to jail, got the big boy charge and almost lost his life. And Diddy wasn't built like that coming up in them streets. He was not like that till he got money and power. See that people do anything for him. All the killers hanging around him and all that stuff that was highly respected out there. He had them in the pocket, so it was able for it enabled him to make these moves. But at this point, I don't think he would have been thinking about no Cassie when he got out. Period. Cause still, he still ain't gonna be in there that long. It's gonna be just a couple more months, basically, man. So that I get what you said, but I don't. That's me personally, cause you still could be right. I can't say you wrong. So it was a good statement, man. Said Diddy beats the feds. Fila said Diddy beats the feds. Diddy will be even bigger when he get home, and that's what a lot of people said too. He gonna make so much money now. So yeah, we'll finish listening to Unique.
and I'm looking at the screen and I'm trying to see who I know in the courtroom, behind the defense and all that. And I didn't see anyone I didn't see Diddy. And then when I looked again, I seen this old scraggly man looking like, Fred Sanford, with the salt and pepper here. I said, oh,
Facts. He's still making money in jail.
that's Diddy. You know, because there's no longer the drawings that you see in the paper and you don't pay no mind, those sketches.
And right, he beat the feds, so all his money's still there. So all that he cooked and all cooked how he's really coming home. We just saying it's just whack that he got to get time for his first time ever in jail, and it's supposed to be a message to somebody. Message to who? That ain't no real message. That little bit of time he got, it's just a smoke screen to what the prosecutors did with that charging him, that Mann Act, and they just wanted him to get some kind of time to make it look good for themselves. If he would have beat the feds, being that he beat the feds, and then they would have just gave him a come on probation, they would have felt people looked at them crazy. And that's why they fired that prosecutor. If that prosecutor would have won that case, they would have never fired her, man. Facts. Finish listening to my boy, man.
But I'm looking at him and he looks just like the sketches. They did a wonderful job. But Diddy looked at broken. That's all they wanted to do. They wanted to break him. When Diddy sat there in the courtroom and he heard his children speaking about, how they felt about him,
Vaughn,
what a wonderful dad he was. It was like, it brought everyone to tears. They even started handing out napkins, but they get napkins, but they call it tissues. They started handing out tissues.
I said, trust the feds didn't do all this for 4 years, so they had to give him something. Exactly. To make it look good. So they don't look crazy. For real. They just thought that they was gonna blind people by using domestic violence as their case and blind the jury and make them say guilty because showing that he's a monster. And they would have just showed that he was a monster for domestic violence, but they would have said guilty on the Mann Act without no Mann Act case. And he would have went to jail for that. That would have been crazy. But it didn't happen. So now they gotta make themselves look good. Diddy was the biggest thing before ICE and the National Guard. Now we in another chapter of distractions. That's a fact. And they also locking black people up now too, so y'all be careful out there, because that's crazy. Can they do whatever they want to anybody? That's what LeVon said. Basically, they did it right in front of our eyes and thought we wasn't supposed to say nothing. And this is what's going on. That's crazy. Tom, what up? Tom said, do I think he can get an appeal? I don't know. But appeal take 2 years, man, normally, man. Unless his lawyers can do something that I don't know about and it happens fast. But he'll be out before they even say yes to his appeal, for real. Stop blowing some smoke. The guy's a woman beater. So he said the guy's a woman beater. Classic said the guy's a woman beater, proving that has never done anything for nobody that don't benefit him more. We all know he's a woman beater, so he's supposed to be in there with woman beater charges. What part you ain't understanding? Classic. This is what we talk. Technical difficulties, y'all. Boy. But like we said, he in there with charges that wasn't pertaining to woman beating at all. Or maybe one of the other second charges, maybe, but still, they should have based it solely off that, not no Mann Act that could take away a man assets, all of his belongings. That don't even make sense, man. At all. Your energy is mad suspect. He said that classic guy energy is mad suspect. That's a fact. Because it don't add up for a person to think that a man should get be put in jail and can't even pay 50 million to get out when they got two other white men that was charged with the same thing and definitely was doing what they was doing to men, to the young men, and they get $8 million bail and was home. What kind of sense does that make? Diddy never gave me an issue when it comes to pain. It's a lot of liberal thinking out here, man. That's what Tom said. Yeah, that's a fact. And you know, we don't see stuff for what it really is right in our face. That means we are fools. I'm not gonna be a fool to the point of where I see what they do to a man right in front of us and try to blind us by showing us what he did by beating on the woman. And I'm not saying that's correct. He was way out of line for beating on Cassie. I'm just saying, let's let him get charged for that. Not only that, now that he beat the biggest charge, they still want to put him in jail. He been in there long enough for a first time offender with that domestic violence type of charge. Facts. Diddy has no minors on his case, so he will be straight in the feds. That's a fact because he's gonna go and do the drug program, get good, good, what they call it, good time. When he was in there, he wasn't fighting and all that. So all those months gonna get chiseled off that, and like Unique said, he'll be home next time this year, for real. So, but what they doing is really bad, and we need to watch that because all this type of thinking that people is doing, they don't care because it's not them behind those bars. They don't care because it's not one of their family members behind those bars and being treated unjustifiably, man. They just keep going off of what the government wanted us to do. See him fighting on a woman, and then we give public opinion in a bad way. So that's what they're fooling us at. But there's gonna be more black successful men put in jail. R. Kelly was first, was Puff. Who's next? R. Kelly is in there, and the girl. It showed the text messages where the mother was showing the girl what to do and or what to say, and it was showing that she wasn't even staying in his room. So it's like they just doing what they want to do to us. And that's just a fact. Us as black men. And we better be careful and pay attention to what it is. We better be careful because one of us could be next. One of us could blow up the day of tomorrow. Yeah, I'm gonna call you right back when I get off the live. All right. It could be one of us, man. And this is not a joke. They showing us right in our face that they could take one of us and give us a charge, and we figure it out how to get out of jail, man. And ain't nothing we can do about it. They give it prostitution. Prostitution, man, is when a person get paid for it, but they trying to say he doing secondary prostitution, if that makes sense. Whatever kind of charge it is secondary to it. But they still ain't go get the lock nobody up from the actual company that sent the escorts. They are the one benefiting and making the money from it, man. That's crazy. So they will use the case to sentence other black men. Exactly. They'll use this as case law to sentence other black men to 4 years when they should get no time. This affects all black men. That's my point. You said that perfectly, Fila. This ain't about Puff. That's a fact. This is about longevity of figuring out ways to take our powerful men off the street. And, it's still good things that Puff has done, donated to school, colleges, all the above here and there that people would see that would benefit kids also. So all those, even then, you got bad things, but some of the good things that he do that can steer our black kids in the right direction, they tearing all that down. They trying to take history class out of schools, so you don't even learn black history no more. That's a fact. Kennedy, what up? It's a fact, man. We better pay attention to what's going on. Don't let them blind you with the bad stuff. They started off being bad by charging him with something that wasn't even an official charge. And once everybody seen they start beating on Cassie, they didn't even pay attention to that charge that they charged him with. That could have took his life, his money, his everything. And that's a fact. Andy said they always throwing the book at us. I got a maximum sentence once, and the judge still added time to my sentence. Exactly. Exactly. And another message that they could want to be sending about Puff is, yeah, y'all can't do what y'all want to do. Y'all better stand down when we tell y'all what to do. And these are some of the things Dame Dash saying. Y'all be, they want to get in with these people, which is always good to take other money to make money. Those are some of the smart business moves a lot of men do to this day. But in this industry, you be dealing with these people and get their money, and then when they feel you about to outshine them or do something on them or affect them, they figure out your weakness, and that's what they did. Figured out his weakness, put that money up for the lawyers, and went and got Cassie and told her we'd get you these millions and showed her how to do it. And they're gonna figure out a way to get rid of you, because they showing us that don't play with us, because we own the courts, we own the world y'all live in, man. And we out here going against a dude. Nah, if he did something wrong, give him the punishment what he was in there for. If the world would have started barking on that note, why is he in there charged with that? Only a little bit of people were speaking about it, and it didn't get heard over a lot of people that were speaking negative and kept begging for him, then begging for them to throw the nail in the coffin on him because they seen him hitting on a woman. They not still thinking logical and the smoke screen and the play that they were doing and putting on us. That's a fact. Philon said Puff a fighter though. Puff gonna make all this right. Probably get this case expunged. Free Puff. After a few years, he can get it expunged. After 7 years, I believe. But him fight for the appeal, even if he get out of jail before the appeal come, he's still found guilty on it. So I don't understand what the appeal will be about. Lesser time, but it still will be on his record regardless. Puff from Harlem and Mount Vernon. Puff gonna get his get back. Money earning Mount Vernon. Yeah, but I don't know what get back he gonna get. I think he sued the company and won the lawsuit, but he can't get the money because he's in jail. He sued the Diddy.A. So he might have won that and can't get the money back. But at the end of the day, still gonna be on his record, man. Well, that right. So that'll be good. He get out of jail, but also know with appeals, the appeal can go in both ways. He can go and fight the appeal. They do the case over with, and he could lose, and they can give him either the same time he got, or they can raise the time on him. So it can go either way. Big Gene looked like he was satisfied with the verdict. I don't know why he had so much hate to see that man in jail. Classic said before he knows he ain't wrong. Ian, I don't know what that means. Andy, he in prison right now when he should be free. Yeah, he should be free. They should just let him come home and give him the probation and let it play itself out. They humiliated. Philo said they humiliated Puff. He wants get back. Well, I would want to get back too, but how you gonna get back with the government? Break that down to me. Unless you're gonna, do something to get at the Darion people that did that to him. Classic said it all started with the Ciroc. So I was looking at Puff and I was saying to myself, like Unique was saying, I was saying, damn, should he even wrote a letter? I don't, and this before it even came out, people started talking about the letter. I was saying, because to me, that kind of show like a weakness, man. Like, should he wrote the letter? Because I'm like, I'm already found guilty. What I'm writing letters for and saying all this, I'm gonna be a better man when I get out, this and that, da da da. Like the judge gonna care. The judge don't care. The judge don't care. All that is just, all of it is just, it make it and I want to say it respectfully as possible to just make him look weak to the public. It looked like Puff was weak and wrote a letter like that when we know Puff for having his chest poked out and being the big dog and things of that nature, man. So writing the letter and apologizing and all that stuff, I would have just went on there and just said, Your Honor, this has been a long ride for me, and I still stand on what I did. I am wrong about hitting on women or hitting on on Cassie, and that was it. And all that, I'm gonna be a better man. I do this and this, that. I don't think should have did all that because the judge don't care. And like Unique said, when the judge said that, basically he was offended by him writing him a letter. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. The judge said that. And I know he was sitting there like, I wrote all this full crap for nothing. What? Oh, man, you sucker. Philo said the same way you get back on anyone with successful, more life. Yeah, you right. Puff gon' do big things again. Remember, he got kids. Yeah, he still got a lot of money too to do a lot of stuff. And people thrive off money, so they're gonna be doing what he want. Some people saying you think people will let him walk in those same rooms. Well, they gonna let him walk in those same rooms and all that. And Chopper City said, yeah, they gonna let him walk in the same rooms because they still with the he's Puff Daddy and he got some money. So it is what it is. Puff be backroom earning from the first day of freedom. Oh yeah, he still getting money while he in there. That's a fact. Those two women attacked Puff too, according to court documents. George wrote, see, George, I know you know about it, and that's a fact. And a lot of that stuff that was going on, Cassie initiated it. Cassie made the phone calls. They gave her immunity, but that's when the jury, if I was a juror, I'd have been like, well, they gave her immunity because they want to take him down that bad. For real. So they should have looked at it like, well, why would they give her immunity? So why do they want me to? I would have been like, well, why they want me to find him guilty and she still was partaking in a lot of that stuff? They done showed her calling one of the escorts up and told them don't be putting that stuff out or I'm going to send somebody to unalive you. And that went over people's head. That's crazy. That's a fact. Finesse. They'll never race what Puff did for the city. Yeah, in '99. Yep. They can't. They can't do none of that. But the same token, on the same token, it's like what we do moving forward as a culture, man. And we still shouldn't let this blindside us, because it's very dangerous. Very dangerous for us moving forward, for our kids that might blow up. And be a big celebrity one day. And then they got my kids sitting there in courtroom and I can't do nothing about it. And they made up a crime on them and making them do time. Like that's crazy to me, man. And now y'all see Puff hair gray as ever. Nobody ever seen Puff hair that gray. That means he already was great before he went in there, right? So now when he come out and he get his hair all black again, and you know they gonna be like, "Come on, man, that's Beijing." Ain't nobody paid no attention before, unless you really know him. But now the world know that ain't even you. So a lot of them things that they did to him kind of tore him down, man. So I don't know, man. A lot of things to take out of this. A lot of messages, man. The culture let Puff down if we gonna go there. Yeah, with letting them put, one of our big figures in jail and want us to side with them. Yeah. And act like it was just something to do. That's not cool. Mm-hmm. But we still hold them accountable for beating on a woman, because I don't play that. Somebody put their hands on my daughter, they might as well cancel goddamn Christmas. I don't care who you is. And that's a fact. So he way out of line for that. But I do see the big picture of one of my friends going to jail for something they did not do. There's plenty of people in jail right now can't even get out for something they did not do. Don't got money for lawyers. And the prosecution they get to fight all day long. Whether they win or lose, they get to go home. You got one chance of getting out of there. And if not, you staying in there. Then if you want to try to get back out, you got to file an appeal, and then you got to wait for that. That's crazy. The Indian judge should be ashamed of himself. He got off to humiliating Puff in front of the public. Exactly. Like that sounded good for him to discredit the man letter. That's crazy for you to do that in public. Discredit his letter. And he said a lot of good stuff in there. If he meant it, then I respect that. And nobody can say that he didn't mean it. Because that's crazy to me. So yeah. Remember when he was teasing Puff about getting bail after the trial? Yeah, totally disrespectful, man. Universal asked me not to clear a sample for King Combs. Now they're trying to do the kids dirty. Wow, now they're trying to start blackballing Puff Roach. That's crazy, man. I mean, blackballing his kids? Like, that's crazy, man. They wanted Puff that bad, Donnell Brown said. Yeah. They want anybody bad that's powerful that can really do something. But what's crazy is they want you, all these big billionaire liquor companies or clothing lines or if they give you a big deal, you know, they tied in with the government. They tied in with these judges. They all be at the same functions. So they figured out how to mastermind taking Puff down. And they did it with R. Kelly. And they can do it with anybody else that they want. They can hand pick. They ain't got we ain't got no wins with them people. We ain't got no wins with them people. At all. At all. Because when they use jail against us, what's every person on this planet biggest fear? To make a person don't want to go against you. If they can take your money from you, or if they can send you to jail, man. That's it. That's it. So now they utilize the law on their side, put you in jail. They got the TVs in the pocket. They got like the news and all that, and create this big vision of what type of person you are, and they get the win. They get the W. But when you put something out, like which case was that? Was it this case with them showing something that they didn't want Puff Team to put out? Or was it Young Thugs? But it's something that was showing that the prosecutors were saying, it was one of those cases, the prosecution was saying they want that took down, not able to put those videos up on news or podcast or whatever, because the public opinion that'll stir their case the wrong way. And see how the prosecution can get your stuff took down? That's crazy. That's crazy. That's buck wild, man. But now you gotta fight for your life to get out of jail. Only thing the prosecutors gotta do is fight to put you in jail, and then they still go home whether they win or lose. And they can do whatever they want to. But I commend Puff, his lawyers, the team, they did real good. They did real good, and they fighting. They stay nudging and nudging. See, he got the money to do it. See, that's why a lot of people is in jail, because they don't even have the money to pay lawyers to do that type of fight. R. Kelly money ran out. So it was nothing he could do. Nothing he could do, man. All the way up to now. After they done found out all this bad lies and all that the girl and her family and them did, he's still in there with 30 years. That's crazy, man. So I don't know, man. We better be on point and stay watching, man. It's gonna be another one. They bringing Jay-Z name up now with stuff they saying that he did, embezzling or something, I think. Something with him and Rock Nation, or laundering money or something. Don't quote me on that, but if y'all heard about it, y'all let me know. But it's not looking good for the way that they saying it. But we'll see, because Jay-Z, you know, he showed us like he ain't letting them play with him. So we'll find that out. But Puff looks totally different. He's great, haired up. I wonder how he's gonna do his new welcome home look. Will it be the gray look, or will he go back to putting the Beijing on and having the dark hair? Because he had to have all that gray hair beforehand. And if he didn't have all of it, this case made it get even more gray from the frustration. And we can't fault him at none of that. We can't fault him at none of that, man. This one right here just took the cake of showing how the government or the court system could bring a black man in that jail system and play with his life as long as they want to, how they want to, when they want to. And they already know us black people, the majority of us don't stick together anyway. So they gonna get away with you know with the BS that they do. And where's our black leaders at? They ain't gonna stand beside them because of the charges. They ain't gonna stand beside nobody with a domestic charge. But we better figure out something and something fast, because they gonna be putting us in jail back and like we always called it, legal slavery. And this is what they creating and figuring out how to do it to the people that's a big popular face with a lot of money that can make this world turn around in a better way for black people and get in those positions that they are in. A lot of our black people that are in them positions are in them seats up there, but they be Uncle Tom and an ass kissing. For real. So it make our job even harder. But we better stay abreast and figure out how to stick together and not tear each other down. Too much of that's going on. We got a problem out here right now with one black man tore down another black man's business, which affected 3 other black men. But that's a whole nother conversation. And I'll bring that one to y'all later. But yeah, I'm about to slide out, man. I wanted to come up and touch bases with y'all on this Puff stuff because it's still like mind-boggling to me, man, that he didn't even get to come home. But he still did time, and he did what he was. I feel he got what he deserved for that domestic violence. So anything else over that is like, what is they doing? Why is they playing like that? So yeah, you rolling with your boy Big Boosie. Make sure y'all share this, man. And please hit that like button. Hit that like button for me. And if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button and that notification button so you'll know when I'm here. So we can keep this thing rolling and y'all can stay abreast with my next piece of content that I got coming up, man. All right? I'll see y'all in a minute.